Hello everyone, my name is Katya and today I'm going to show you how to crochet this pet bed. It is an easy pattern. All you need to know is how to work your single crochets around. We'll start working on the base and then we'll add the sides with stuffing. There is no sewing and you can adjust the size. For this project I'll be using number 5 bulky yarn with a 6.5mm crochet hook. You're going to need stuffing and stitch markers. For round 1, we're going to start with the magic ring. If you're having a hard time with the magic ring, you can slip knot, chain 2, and work your single crochets using the first chain. Right here, I'm going to start with the chain 1. And into this magic ring, we're going to work 6 single crochets. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull on this yarn tail to tighten the center, and for round 1 we have a total of 6 single crochets. If you're going to use a stitch marker, go ahead and place it right in front of the first single crochet. I'm just using a piece of yarn. For round 2, we're going to work 2 single crochets around. So right over here is our first single crochet. We're going to go ahead and work 2 single crochets into that first single crochet stitch. Here's 1 single crochet, and go back and work your second single crochet. And we're going to repeat this. Into the next stitch, work 2 single crochets. And that's the pattern for this round. Just working 2 single crochets into each stitch around. In each round, we need to increase 6 stitches. Here's 1 and 2. And let's go ahead and finish this round together. Once again, I'm just working 2 single crochets into each stitch around. And right over here is our last stitch. We can go ahead and work 2 single crochets using that stitch. And at the end of round 2, we have a total of 12 single crochets. Round 3, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet. So right here, I removed my stitch marker and I placed it again in front of the single crochet stitch. And I'm going to do this for each round. So right here, we're going to work 1 single crochet using the first stitch. And into the next stitch, we're going to work 2 single crochets, which is our increase. 1, and go back and work your second single crochet using that same stitch. Let's repeat this. Into the next stitch, work 1 single crochet, and into the following stitch, work 2 single crochets. 1, and go back and work your second single crochet into that same stitch. Let's repeat this pattern again. We're going to work 1 single crochet, and then into the next stitch work 2 single crochets, which is our increase. Continue working around and I'll meet you at the end of this round. Don't forget to work 2 single crochets using the last stitch, and at the end of round 3 you should have 18 single crochets. At the end of round 3, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 18 single crochets. For round 4, we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches. Here's 1 single crochet, and go into the next stitch and work your second single crochet. And into the following stitch, we're going to work our increase, which is 2 single crochets. So now in between our increases, we have 2 single crochets. Let's repeat this. Into the next 2 stitches, work 1 single crochet. And into the following stitch, work 2 single crochets. Let's repeat this one more time. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And into the following stitch, work 2 single crochets. Continue working like this around, and at the end of this round, you should have 24 single crochets. At the end of round 4, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 24 single crochets. For round 5, we need to work 1 single crochet into the first 3 stitches. So now we have 3 stitches in between our increases. And each round is going to increase by 1 stitch before the increases. So we worked 1, 2, and let's go ahead and work one more single crochet into the following stitch. So we have 3 single crochets, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets, which is our increase. Let's repeat this. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. Let's repeat this. Work 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, and into the following stitch let's work 2 single crochets. Continue working on this pattern, and at the end of this round you should have 30 single crochets. At the end of round 5, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 30 single crochets. For round 6, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And into the following stitch work 2 single crochets, which is our increase. Let's repeat this again. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. And that's the pattern for this round, is just working 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. And remember, each round we're increasing by 6 single crochets. Continue working like this around, and at the end of this round you should have 36 single crochets. At the end of round 6, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 36 single crochets. For round 7, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. Let's repeat this again. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. Continue working like this around, and at the end of this round you should have 42 single crochets. At the end of round 7, we have a total of 42 single crochets. For round 8, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first 6 stitches. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. Let's repeat this. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches, three, 4, 5, and 6, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. Continue working like this around, and at the end of this round you should have 48 single crochets, and I'll meet you then. At the end of round 8, we have a total of 48 single crochets, and this is how it looks like. For round 9, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And let's go ahead and work 2 single crochets into the following stitch, which is our increase. And let's repeat this. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches, 5, 6, and 7. And into the following stitch, work 2 single crochets. Continue working around, and at the end of this round, you should have 54 single crochets. At the end of round 9, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 54 single crochets. For the next rounds, you can add stitch markers, and I'll show you how to use them. That way you don't need to count your single crochets. And for round 10, we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And into the following stitch, work 2 single crochets. Here's 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. And now for this single crochet, the one that we just finished, we're going to add a stitch marker. And this stitch with the stitch marker is where we need to work an increase on the next round. Let's repeat that. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And into the following stitch, work 2 single crochets. So here's 1 single crochet, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. And into this stitch right here, let's go ahead and add the next stitch marker. So we're adding stitch markers to the second single crochet where we work in increase, not the first single crochet, but the second. Let's repeat that again together. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 8 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And into the following stitch, let's go ahead and work 2 single crochets. Here's 1, and here's 2. And into the second stitch, add a stitch marker. You're going to repeat this all around, adding stitch markers to your increases, the second single crochet, not the first. And at the end of this round, you should have 60 single crochets. At the end of round 10, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 60 single crochets. And then we have these 6 stitch markers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And right over here into the stitches where we have the stitch markers is where we're going to work our increases, which is 2 single crochets. And then this is the original one. You can remove it and work off of this stitch marker, or just leave it. I'm going to leave mine. And for the next round, if you're going to count your single crochets, we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first 9 stitches. So let's go ahead and do that. You can count, or you can just work 1 single crochet until you get to the first stitch marker. So that was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And right here, we're at the stitch marker. We're going to remove it. And now work 2 single crochets using that stitch. 1, and go back into that stitch and work second single crochet. And now go ahead and place your stitch marker back. And you're going to repeat this. So you're going to work 1 single crochet until you get to the stitch marker. Or if you're counting, it's a total of 9 single crochets. I'm just going to keep going until I get to the stitch marker. Right over here, we're at the stitch marker. We're going to remove it. And into that stitch, work 2 single crochets. And now go ahead and place your stitch marker back. And you're just going to continue and work like this. So you're going to work 1 single crochet into the 9 stitches, or if you're not counting, just keep going until the stitch marker, and then work 2 single crochets. And you're going to repeat this all around, and at the end of this round, you should have 66 single crochets. At the end of round 11, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 66 single crochets, and then we placed our stitch markers back using the second single crochet of each increases. And for round 12, we're just going to start same way. We're going to place our stitch marker and then work our single crochets until we get to the first stitch marker. And right over here, we're going to work 2 single crochets using the stitch with the stitch marker. And if you're counting, that's a total of 10 single crochets until you get to the first increase or the stitch marker. But if you're not counting, all you're going to do is just work single crochets until you get to the first stitch marker. And right over here, we're at the first stitch marker, remove it, and you're going to work 2 single crochets using that stitch. And right here is our second single crochet. We're going to go ahead and place the stitch marker back and repeat the same thing. So we're going to work 1 single crochet until we get to the next stitch marker, and then work 2 single crochets using that stitch, and then place the stitch marker back using the second single crochet. And you're going to repeat this pattern all around, and at the end of round 12 you should have 72 single crochets. At the end of round 12, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 72 single crochets. Now for the rest of the rounds, for the base, we're just going to follow this pattern. We're just going to work single crochets until we get to the stitch marker, and then work 2 single crochets into the stitch marker stitches, and then replace the stitch marker using the second single crochets. And you're just going to repeat this all around until the base is measuring at 17 inches. I'm going to continue and work on mine, and I will let you know how many rounds I work on total and how many stitches I'm going to have at the end. But just continue working the same round until your base is measuring at 17 inches. If you want a different size base, you're just going to repeat the same pattern until it is measuring the size that you like. So continue working, and then I will let you know how many rounds I work on total. I finished working on my base, and it is measuring at 17.5 inches. And I worked a total of 27 rounds, and I have a total of 162 single crochets. And in between the increases, I worked 25 single crochets. So 25 single crochets here, then increase, 25 single crochets, then increase, and like that, I have a total of 162 single crochets. If you need to change the size of the base, you can just continue working more rounds or work less rounds. It is up to you. Let's continue on and work on the height next. For round 28, we need to work single crochets around with no increases, but this time we're just going to pick up the front loops of each single crochet and work our single crochets using that loop. So normally we pick up both loops to work our single crochets, but this time just pick up the front loop only and work a single crochet. And again, so pick up the front loop of the following single crochet stitch from the previous round and work a single crochet. Front loop only, work single crochets all around. And that's all we're going to do for this round. We're just going to work single crochets around using the front loops of each stitch. And right over here, this is our single crochets, and then if we look on the back, we have this little loops left right here. And then once you come to the stitch marker, you can just go ahead and remove them. You don't need them anymore, and you're just going to continue and work your single crochets around using the front loops only. At the end of round 28, this is how it looks like, and we worked a total of 162 single crochets using the front loops only. For round 29 and the rest of the rounds, we're just going to work single crochet using both loops now. So you're going to pick up each stitch, both loops, and just work a single crochet. And you're going to repeat this all around for rounds 29 and the rest of the rounds. I'm going to continue and work on mine, and I will let you know how many rounds I work on total. So all you're doing is just working 1 single crochet around for each round using both loops. And each round you're going to end with 162 single crochets. Continue working on your rounds, and I will do the same, and then I'll let you know how many rounds I work on total. At the end of round 53, this is how it looks like, and I worked a total of 24 rounds, and this is round 28 where we worked single crochets using the front loops. and it is measuring at about 7.5 inches long. Let's continue on. If you like to change the size of the height, you can go ahead and add more or less rounds, but keep in mind we will be folding this in half. And to continue, what we need to do is right over here, this opening, we're going to slip stitch this to this area right here where we have the back loops right over here. And I'll show you how that's done. And to start, we're going to use the first stitch and we're going to insert our hook into both of the loops. And now we're going to find the loop, the back loop of the round 28 right over here. And we're going to pick it up. Once we have 3 loops on our hook, we're going to yarn over and pull through and also pull through this loop. And now we're going to continue. So right now we're going to find the next stitch, which is right next to it. Go into that stitch, pick up both loops, and now find your next back loop, which is right here. And you're going to go ahead and slip stitch using all 4 loops, which includes this loop right here. Let's do that again. So right here is the next stitch. We're going to go ahead and insert our hook into that stitch and also find the back loop of the round 28. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops. Yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. And let's continue. And that's all I'm going to do here is just work slip stitches. You can pick up one loop if you like to, but I am picking up both loops from the opening. And I'm just going to continue and slip stitch this sides together. And once I work few more, I'll be back to show you how to stuff the sides. I slip stitched this much together, and now what we're going to do is we're going to stuff the side. It's just easier this way. We're going to stuff as we go. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of stuffing and go ahead and stuff the sides. Now it's up to you how much you stuff. And once I feel like it's enough, I could always add more. I'm going to just continue on. So I'm just going to pick up this loop and continue slip stitching. And then once I feel like it's enough for stuffing, I'm just going to go ahead and stuff some more. And that's all it is here. I'm going to continue and work on this, and then I will meet you back to show you how to finish it. So continue slip stitching and then stuffing the sides, and then I'll meet you back. I finished slip stitching all around, and I went ahead and I stuffed the sides. And I'm coming to the end, and before you close, you want to continue stuffing this area right here where we started. And then once you're done stuffing, you can go ahead and finish slip stitching it closed. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and finish slip stitching. Take your time here, don't rush. I'm just going to continue and slip stitch. I have one stitch left. I'm going to go ahead and use that stitch and then find any of the loops on the back and slip stitch. And once you're done slip stitching, go ahead and chain one and cut your yarn. Pull out your hook, tighten it, and we have 2 yarn tails to work on. For this one, I'm just going to go ahead and bring it on the inside of the work and just kind of bring it in and out using any of the stitches on the side. And then go back. Then one more time. This time I'm just going to bring it right on the side. And go ahead and cut the yarn tail. And with this one, we're just going to use the single crochet stitches from round 1, picking up back loops, as many as you can. It might be a little bit hard because we tighten the stitches. Pull through and then come back, and you're done. You can do it one more time, but I'm just going to do it 2 times, and you're done. You can use the pet bed this way, this is the back, or you can flip it and use it this way. It doesn't matter, just stretch it out, and it's ready for use. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.